Again, I'm thrilled to be joined here by my partner, Savion Grays, who's one of our students at PEP Greenview. And we're here to recognize two wonderful organizations. But before I launch into all the wonderful reasons that we're recognizing the Cleveland Foundation, we also have a little bit of audience participation. I didn't realize Jill was going to do audience participation, so bear with me. It's just a few questions. And if the answer is yes to any of these, please stand and remain standing. So who among this group, either currently or in the past, has worked for the Cleveland Foundation? I know we're going to have at least one. Okay. Fantastic. Who in the room has been part of an organization, either as a staff person, board member, or volunteer, that has received support from the Cleveland Foundation? Okay, we're getting close. Who has been impacted by a program or service funded by the Cleveland Foundation? And lastly, who is just proud that the Cleveland Foundation is here in our community? All right. Okay, you can take your seat. Thank you. So I think as you looked around this large room, you can see the wonderful impact that the Cleveland Foundation has had on our community. And when it comes to the cause of kids, there's really been no more consistent and impactful member of our community than the Cleveland Foundation. If you go back many decades ago, the Foundation's focus was with sweeping school reform, presenting the radical notion that girls were worthy of equal education. Radical. Then in the late 70s, mid to late 70s, the Foundation provided the seed funding that launched PEP's early childhood programming. And then in the 90s, they were one of the first and most persuasive voices that led to the creation of Cuyahoga County's Early Childhood Development Program, one of our community's finest public-private partnerships. Improving educational outcomes for all children has always been front and center with the Cleveland Foundation, and just last year, they lent their leadership and their voice to the passage of the Cleveland Plan, supporting important transformation of our Cleveland schools. This list of attributes could go on, but I will allow Savion to say a few words.
Thanks. The Cleveland Foundation's powerful imprint is a key, The Cleveland Foundation's powerful imprint is a key ingredient in nearly every venture that has benefited children in our community for the past 100 years. Today, PEP is pleased to honor the Cleveland Foundation in recognition of a century of putting children first.
Thank you. And I would like to welcome Bob Eckert, Executive Vice President of the Cleveland Foundation. We'll give you the microphone.
Okay, thanks. Oop, dropped a pen. Well, on behalf of Ron Richard, the president of the foundation, who unfortunately couldn't be here, but you saw him in the video, the staff who are sitting over here at table 1, where they deserve to be, at table 1, the board of the foundation, and the almost 50,000 donors who have contributed to the Cleveland Foundation in our first century. I'm really pleased to be here to accept this award. Just last week, I was in a meeting with Ron, and he began talking about a meeting he'd had in an organization and the tremendous work they were doing and the challenges they were facing and how they weren't backing away from the challenges. It took about a minute to realize he was talking about PEP, that he had had a meeting with Frank, and I think Susan was at that meeting as well. So it's really tremendous to be honored by this organization, one that we care so much about. It's also a great privilege to be honored with Rainbow Babies and Children and Patty D. Pompey. We're really lucky in this community to have one of the top children's hospitals in the world in this community, and we're so pleased to support them as well in the great work they do. And finally, in the spirit of the video and the earlier conversation, I have to thank Mrs. Nagasaki, my second grade teacher, who put more work into improving my oral reading ability And if she hadn't put that in, I probably wouldn't be able to stand up here and talk to you today. So thank you very much.
Little plaque in recognition of a century of putting children first, the Cleveland Foundation. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I am now joined, by Peyton Ginter, who's one of PEP's Hopewell students and is going to be my partner in this presentation. Audience participation again. Sorry, it's few questions. But as we recognize University Hospital's Rainbow Baby and Children's Hospital, I have a couple questions. So who either currently or has worked at UH Rainbow in any capacity, whether operations, medical, or served on its board? Please stand. Okay. Who has received care at University Hospital's Rainbow, either for yourself or a loved one? Okay, all right. And who just likes knowing that Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital, one of the world's most fantastic organizations, is right here in Cleveland, Ohio? Thank you. We are so lucky in this community that more than 125 years ago, a group of 9 young women from prominent families chose to come together to form what came to be known as the Rainbow Circle of King's Daughters. Their central mission was very clear. The organization wanted to utilize their collective resources and influence to improve the health for the poor children in our city. That same sense of purpose and passion lives strongly today. Still with an all-female board, and now with a woman as its president, this group of sharp women has continued to serve as our community's most critical voice on the health of our community's children. Wanting this influence to span beyond the walls of their buildings, the leadership has recognized that championing the cause of children required a new kind of advocacy. To answer that need, in the early 1990s, University Hospital's Rainbow created the Coalition for Greater Cleveland's Children, which we now know as Voices for Ohio's Children, a statewide organization which has emerged as one of the most significant voices advocating for the well-being of children in our state. Rainbow has a rich history and a list of accomplishments is long, but to keep things short and to the point, I will let Peyton express the central reason we chose UH Rainbow to receive this honor. Peyton.
Thank you. University Hospital's Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital is one of the most prominent, consistent, and appreciated voices in advocating for bright futures for all of our community's children. Today, PEP is pleased to honor UH Rainbow as one of our community's treasures. Thank you.
Good job. Please join me in welcoming Patty DePompe to receive this recognition on behalf of her fabulous organization.
Thank you, Bill, and thank you, Peyton. It's truly an honor to accept the 2014 PEP Rally for Kids Award on behalf of the many dedicated physicians, nurses, trustees, and team members here at Rainbow, many who are here today. It's especially meaningful to accept the award from PEP and to be honored together with the Cleveland Foundation, as we all share an equally passionate commitment to serving the citizens of our community. As Bill mentioned, Rainbow was founded back in 1887 by 9 visionary young women who were dedicated to improving the lives of babies and children in our community. And as I reflected upon my remarks today, it really struck me that, like PEP and the Cleveland Foundation, Rainbow has added or changed programming and services over the years, always with a focus on what the children in our community need now, but also with an action-oriented eye toward the future. What are the children in our community going to need in the future? And we have shared that vision. As the incredible activist and humanitarian Nelson Mandela stated, there can be no keener revelation today of a society's soul than the way it treats its children. We are so proud to work together with all of you on behalf of the precious children in our community. Thank you.
And we also have a plaque in recognition of one of our community's treasures, University Hospital's Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital, one of the most prominent, consistent, and appreciated voices advocating for bright futures for all of our community's children. Thank you. Thank you.